My name's Alejandro Lara-Agraz, and I'm a trumpet player, multi-instrumentalist, and recording engineer from the Bay Area, Contra Costa County. I'm originally from Brentwood, and I started playing when I was 10 years old. I don't come from a musical family per se, but a family that appreciates music, and I grew up in a very musical community. That is, a lot of music was happening around me in Brentwood, in the schools and in the communities as well. And I had some really phenomenal teachers from a really young age that just really, really got me hooked on music. I remember picking up my trumpet from Best Music in Oakland, and to this day that is still one of my favorite memories of, I guess, going into 5th grade. Nothing beats the joy that I felt when I was standing in Best Music and they brought out a few trumpets for me to look at, and I picked the one that I wanted, and I was just walking down the street with the trumpet case in my hand, and I felt legit. I felt part of something bigger. I felt like I was truly a musician in that moment, and it was something that I had wanted for so long, because my sister had tried the flute and gave it up, and then my brother was too young to have played anything, my younger brother, and then it was just like I always saw her do it, and I just itched for it so bad. I had a lot of really formative musical experiences up through high school. There were a lot of really incredible musicians from my high school, like Melina from JSOM. She went to my high school, and we would always talk about like these little urban legends and stories of just like, oh my God, they like recorded demos. They did the reverb for the vocals in like the theater bathroom because it's all tiled and it sounds crazy. And the piano player I grew up with was a few grades above me. His name's Nicholas Perez. Now he plays with the San Francisco Gay Men's Chorus, and he makes his living in New York as a bar pianist, playing honky-tonk and all kinds of stuff till 3, 4, 5 in the morning. And Louis Sweat, who's a drummer, and they were really like my early mentors amongst my teacher Juan Carrion and Roy Word, and I was terrified of them, and I wanted so badly to do the thing that they were doing, which was make music at such an incredibly high level. And they were just so good at what they did, and they were just such powerful presence. And I was like scared to talk to them, scared to play with them, scared to show up to the jam sessions. But at the same time, they were so willing to let me and my peers in a way that's really beautiful, just like partaking in this craft and having really high standards for yourself, but then also like the humility and compassion to like let someone in and share that. Granted, they pushed us. They made sure that the art was held to a particular standard. They would kick us off the bandstand and just like, no, this is not happening. We're not doing this. You gotta go home and practice that and come back to it. And I remember Nick Perez sat me down in the band room at my high school, Heritage High School, and he was like, looked at me in the eyes and he was like, you need to listen to Lee Morgan. And I was like, yeah, like I know the name. And it's like, yeah, I'll go listen to Lee Morgan. And he just like stopped and like sat and like looked me dead in the eyes, and he was like, no, you need to listen to Lee Morgan. Like, not just listen, but you need to listen to him. Like, listen to the way that he articulates, listen to the way that he phrases, listen to his notes. And it was just that kind of thing that just really got me hooked from a young age. And my grandma, she drives this F-150 pickup truck that she's had since 1996, and she just always had mariachi tapes of Javier Solis and Jose Alfredo Jimenez and all the like mariachi greats. And that's like why the sound of the trumpet got stuck in my head. But I actually wanted to play saxophone, but this is what I ended up going with. And that's a lot of where I come from, is like very like small town community. I played in school bands, like 5th grade band, and I played in wind ensemble. My high school didn't have a marching band, so I fortunately avoided doing marching band my whole life up to this point. And jazz band, like there was just a lot of jazz where I grew up, and I got a lot of exposure to jazz, and have gotten to partake in this music for over half my life at this point. And it's a really beautiful thing to come together in a really open and welcoming community. And I think a lot of that has shaped my values to this day. That's like I look for community, and I look for ways that I can give back to the community around me. And even this whole thing that we're doing is another exercise in community building that Abner's put together. That's like the opportunity for musicians to come together in a really intimate space and partake in something really beautiful and then share that with the world. And I think that's a really beautiful thing. Yeah. Nowadays, I play in a few different bands. I play a lot for myself. I've gotten the opportunity to play across the country at this point. Just in the last year, I've flown with, one of the main bands that I play with is called Grooblen. It's like a psychedelic rock project out of San Francisco. Within that group, I play bass. And we've gotten really wonderful opportunities. The last one, we went into Boise, Idaho to go play Tree Fort Festival. We went to New York in December of last year. No, we went to New York in October, and then we went to Chicago. And we've played all over San Francisco. We've played in Sacramento. We've gone up the coast a couple of times. I've just had like really incredible opportunities with that particular group of people to get connected in music scenes that I wouldn't have otherwise been exposed to. I started playing with them in college, and I went to Sacramento State. I lived in Davis, but then I would drive all the way to San Francisco to go play with a group called Rose Haze, and then go play with Grooblen. And it was a lot of driving, but it was really worth it to like be a part of so many different music scenes. Because then I played in a band called Swam in Davis as well. And then Davis has this really unique thing had this really unique thing going on and still has this really unique thing going on that's like so many backyard shows just happening in Davis and in Sacramento as well. I feel a much higher concentration there than in the Bay Area, a lot due to just it being much more suburban. That's certainly one aspect. But regardless, it's a lot of opportunity for like bands to exist. It's a really low bar to entry, but it's an interesting case study in terms of looking at like alternative, like community building, alternative communities, and environments for alternative learning, in the sense that there is so much learning that occurs there musically and technically and within the community as well that doesn't necessarily exist in a classroom, even though there's like that, partially due to the proximity to the university, but not like the responsibility of the university, in the sense that if the university wasn't there, UC Davis, I think this thing would still happen. And like regardless, you're still like very intelligent people, whether they're affiliated with the university or not. That's not, anyways. Oh my God, I was on to the beginning of such a good train. I think here would be a cut. I was just having a really good conversation with Diego from Bomba Fried Rice about this. Damn. I got kicked off the train of thought. What the fuck was I going to say with all that?
It's a fast train.
It's a really fast train. There's like several of them.
Hell yeah.
Anyways, I think DIY stuff, I think grassroots things, I think things like this that it's just like just sparked from an idea and then just executed to the highest ability with limited resources is, I keep saying it's a beautiful thing, but it's a beautiful thing. It's a beautiful way to like self-actualize like an idea that just occurs to you in a dream. It's an incredible thing to like bring people together and bring ideas together and bring people with ideas together. And anyways, those are the bands that I play in. I play in Grooblen. I play in a different cumbia band called Nacho and the Dollar Menu. That group I'm playing guitar in. And it's an interesting thing being a multi-instrumentalist and different genres per instrument. A lot of jazz occurs. I play a lot of jazz on trumpet and jazz adjacent music. I play a lot of like psychedelic rock, bass, a little bit of funk here and there, and then a lot of like Latin and rock fusion on the guitar. And I think each one is, and I play piano as well. And each one is its own different like modality of expression. Different ideas occur from each of the different instruments for a variety of reasons, notwithstanding just like different technical considerations of the instrument, the different timbres of the different instruments. Like when I'm playing trumpet, I'm seeing a guitar fretboard. Like I was always told growing up that I needed to play piano so I could visualize the piano and see chords in the piano, but the piano isn't as visual an instrument to me as the guitar is. And I started playing guitar when I was 14 years old because I loved the Ramones and I loved the Clash and I wanted to be a punk rocker and Rise Against and the Offspring. And I started playing guitar. And when I started playing guitar, like something like clicked musically that was, oh, this is like a very pattern-based instrument. Like, and it's very shapes-driven. It's very like geometric in the way that you arrange your fingers and like the way that the different chords and voicings occur. And ever since then, like I have a guitar that sits like right here in my vision when I'm playing trumpet, and I see the guitar shapes and patterns when I'm playing horn. And then when I'm playing bass and guitar and I'm thinking melodically, I'm thinking lines on a trumpet. I'm thinking the way that like Chet Baker or like Tom Harrell like navigate changes, and it's very not the, mono is not the word I'm looking for. It's not polyphonic in the way that I'm necessarily thinking about the available polyphony of the instrument, because those are things that are available on those particular instruments that aren't available on the trumpet. But instead, I think of lines playing those instruments, guitar and bass, as if I was playing trumpet and navigating on an instrument that was only capable of single notes at a time. So it's interesting the way that the two feed each other and play off of each other, and the different varieties of musical experiences that occur based on the instrument within those particular styles of music. The first thing that comes up when I think about the future is, what does success mean to me? What does a successful future mean in music and out of music? And in a lot of ways as well, what does a return to form look like for me? I feel like the real world and the adult world is so overbearing, and there's so much pressure to achieve things that aren't necessarily the things that you truly want in this life, i.e. like financial success and owning a variety of possessions that you're told that you should desire. But what's at the bottom of things, like what's true to you, what's true to your values, what's true to your values, what's true to you. And I think at this point in my life, I'm thinking a lot about those things. And, you know, it's like at one point I was raised Catholic. So then at one point it was just like, I want to get married in a heterosexual marriage and have children. And then I'm going to buy a house in the suburbs and have a car and grow old at my job and collect my pension, and then that'll be the end of things. And then like very quickly through my adolescence, it was just like a questioning of just like, oh, is this truly what I want? Or is this kind of just like the thing that I've been told to want, and like the values that have been kind of like placed in front of me? And I have the autonomy to accept or deny that reality. And I think ever since I picked up the guitar, I wanted to be a rock star. Ever since, from the beginning, as soon as my earliest experiences with music is I wanted to play music. There were other ones at different points. Like I wanted to be a dentist and an optometrist at other points. I think less so for the specific subject matter that they covered, but more so that it's like I'd be helping people. I think truly, as much as I've wanted to achieve my own dreams, I've equally or more so wanted to help achieve others' dreams and help people. So, you know, looking forward, it's just like, I'm a lifer. I'm going to be playing music till the day I die. But with that comes different areas of music that I think I want to, not that I think, that I absolutely do, itches that I want to scratch. And that is, I feel like I need to be constantly stimulated with new experiences all the time. And in that way, it's like constantly evading boredom. It's like if I do the same thing for too long, I'll get bored. And then I'll get jaded on the thing that I'm doing. And I really don't ever want to feel bitter about the people that I'm working with or about the thing that I'm doing. So in that way, I have a responsibility to myself to consistently look for new experiences, in the sense of I haven't written a lot of my own compositions, and let alone performed or recorded them. So that's one area that I'm working towards. This is like just writing down melodies and taking staff paper out and like writing full ideas and escaping like a perfectionist idea of just like this has to be to a particular standard, that it's just like, no, like we'll get volume, we'll get the faucet flowing. Just like it doesn't matter if it's perfect, but like whatever's coming to you naturally is not low-hanging fruit. Whatever's coming to you naturally is like a true expression of how you hear the world and like your mind's ear of just like how you conceive of music, and then taking that idea and doing that. And then in the rock world and playing guitar, there's a new project that I'm working on that I'm playing guitar and singing in. And my previous exposure has been that of like a sideman playing bass in a lot of other people's groups and a lot of other people playing a lot of other people's music. Indie bands like April Flowers and in Grooblen to an extent, but it's always been other people's music. And I had the opportunity to play in a band called Navel Gazer, where I had a couple songs of my own. And that was truthfully like a terrifying experience, to pick up the guitar and play on a stage in front of an audience a song that I had written that was like very, very, very true to myself, and a subject matter in the song that was very close to home. It was a song that I had written about a really dear friend of mine that passed about over a year ago now. His name was Ruben, a phenomenal guitar player. And like, it was one of those times where I got nervous. And when I was younger and like really, really knew I would get nervous in this particular way much more often. And I guess I hadn't felt that feeling in a while. And then it had hit me at Neck of the Woods in San Francisco. And I was just like, oh my God, like my palms are sweating. Like, but it's because I'm being incredibly vulnerable right now. So I feel a very strong desire to seek out those kinds of experiences, the kinds of experiences that I have to be very vulnerable for, that push me outside of my comfort zone, that put me in new places that I wouldn't have previously expected, with new people that I necessarily haven't met before. And that's a lot of what I look forward to moving forwards. And on multiple fronts as well. Not just the writing and the performing of music, but I also love to record music. And I love recording, being engineer. For live sound and studio, because it's the closest thing I can get to being in the band without actually picking up an instrument and joining in on the music. It's like the secret like third man. And it's, in a way, if playing and performing my own music is fulfilling my own dreams, the way that recording exists is enabling the dreams of others, because it's the technical facilitation of the creation of music. That it's just like when people play, it just happens as sound waves in the air, but then having the opportunity to record it is grabbing this really special magical thing that's around us. And music is a temporal art. It exists in time. It happens and then it doesn't happen. And while it's happening, it's like progressing in conjunction with time. And like if you're not recording it, it's fleeting. And that's not to say that you need to absolutely record everything, but the opportunity to record is subversive to the nature of the art. Normally, it's completely fleeting, and recording it is the opportunity to gather some of that essence and capture some of the sense, memory, and the sense of emotion that happened in the room. And I think it's a really beautiful thing. It gets me really excited, like as excited, almost as excited as playing does, to be able to operate in that capacity and work really close with bands, and then just have this really generous and emotional and like vulnerable experience with people. Because then at the same time too, it's like this is their art. This is an experience that they're being very vulnerable for, and whatever I can do to facilitate their art is just as fulfilling as the opportunity to enable my own art, enable my own dreams, and achieve my own success. I've been an educator for a long time. I've taught private lessons. I've taught skate camp. I've taught third grade. I've taught fifth grade. I've taught band. I've taught elementary school band, and I think that spirit is of helping other people as much as helping myself is kind of like why I've gravitated towards education a lot as well, and why that just like field resonates so much with me. And dreams moving forward is play more of my own music, write down more of my own music, record more of my own music. I want to have my own studio someday where I can have a space to do those things for myself and for others. And I want to play around the world. I want to continue to play around the country. I want to keep traveling and meeting new people and having new experiences through music. And I really want to go play in Europe. That's like a bucket list item for me. There's like so many like jazz festivals especially. I want to go tour with the horn, and I want to go tour on the guitar, and I want to go tour on the bass, and maybe piano someday. But those are my dreams. Oh, dude. So much fun. Dude, that was